There's some misconception sometimes as to what a voice actor truly is and what can be considered voice acting, especially among the online or general nerd communities. I wanted to take a moment and clear up some of that misunderstanding because, let me be real for a moment, sometimes it comes off as ignorant or even offensive to me and probably a number of my voice acting acquaintances. So please, before you get into an internet debate about the voice acting industry, bear these myths in mind. Voice acting and voiceover are different. Voice acting refers to characters like in cartoons and video games, whereas voiceover is just talking. I once saw someone on a forum discussing potential voice acting in The Legend of Zelda reference the narration in Hyrule Warriors, claiming it wasn't voice acting, only narration because it didn't require emotion and furthermore he was a voice actor, so therefore he knew the difference. Bull Scheisse. I know he wasn't a professional voice actor because he said something so stupid. Acting ability is required in any area of voiceover, be it cartoons, audiobooks, wildlife documentaries, or an IKEA instructional video. You may think of acting in terms of characters and weird voices, but just as much care, precision, and yes, acting ability go into a lipstick commercial as they do in anime. Listen to your cousin try to voice over a video explaining how to upgrade the hard drive of your PS4, then listen to a professional voice actor do anything else, and you will hear the difference. To make even the most boring words interesting, you need the ability to play someone who cares about the topic. Hence, why many voice actors have feelers in multiple voiceover genres. One voice actor may do a video game voiceover in the morning, go home and audition for a commercial, then edit the audiobook he's been working on for the last week. Voiceover simply refers to a voice where the actor is not physically present. Characters are voiceovers of a particular genre. If you have a microphone and record at home, you're a voice actor. Let's not jump the gun here. Lots of people have an interest in voice acting because lots of us are nerds who watch anime and play video games. Precious few people have the gumption to attempt a career at it. Even fewer have the drive to succeed. Anything acting related is going to be tough because there's a ton of competition and you're not getting a consistent paycheck. Despite this, many people claim to be voice actors because they have a microphone and record for fandubs and the like from their homes. They don't get paid, and they're not part of the professional industry. But voice actors they are, according to them. This wouldn't bother me so much if so many of them didn't pretend like they have an authoritative perspective on what goes on in the industry, much like Mr. Narration Doesn't Require Acting I mentioned earlier. I've heard a lot of these people who claim to be voice actors because they do fandubs, and their acting ability is usually modest at best. For the reputation and sanity of those of us who are trying to avoid being on welfare for one more day because the industry is in the process of eating us alive, please refrain from labeling yourselves as professionals. You're people with microphones who do voices from home. Oi mate, that's right you are. You're people with microphones who do voices from home. You're not voice actors. Voice acting isn't real acting. The most important part is being able to do a lot of voices. Just exaggerate the rest and you'll be fine. Here's where we need to come to a blunt but true understanding. Most people don't know jack about voice acting, particularly the otaku community. I often have friends and family jokingly tell me, just don't be like the characters in insert video game here, and you'll be fine. The problem with that is, insert video game probably hired professional actors who did a bang-up job with the script they were given, and players tore them apart for it anyway because the average player doesn't know jack about voice acting. Anime and certain video games have often created the impression that voice acting is a special kind of pseudo-acting that runs on screaming, gasps, and shouting the name of your attack. In other words, no real acting ability is needed. Just be as over-the-top as you can and you're golden, right? While it is true that sometimes entertainment can be a bit weird, acting is still the heart and soul of it. It doesn't matter how many goofy voices you can do or how many octaves you can switch between in one sentence or word. If you can't act, you won't get hired. Maybe it'll do for fandubs, but you're not on the level of the ones who do it for a living. To quote Youre Lowenthal and Tara Platt's book Voice Over Voice Actor, the best voice actors are good actors first, good voice actors second. It's acting with your voice. The voice isn't a replacement for the acting. Narration doesn't require any acting or skill. Anyone can do it. You just talk and people throw bills with Benjamin Franklin's face at you by the droves. Just because audiobooks and the guy who does the gritty forensic TV show aren't as wild and expressive as your favorite kawaii anime girl, doesn't mean they're just talking. People use this line of reasoning to condemn Jessica Martin's portrayal of Samus in Metroid Other M. Guess what? They're all wrong. Jessica Martin was a perfect Samus, but the average player doesn't know jack about voice acting, so they assumed it was just talking and lambasted her performance. Do you know what a pivot is? Would you know what to do if I told you to punch the last few words in a sentence? Can you, by nature, pinpoint which words to say longer than the others so listeners know what to pay attention to? If the answer to all of those is no, now you know the difference between you and what's often simply referred to as a narrator. Narration, as you know it, is usually very laid back with little total or dynamic range, sometimes creating the impression that it's just talking. But professional narrators know what to do and how to do it to hone each word. I'm sure there are more points that will come up in the future, but I'll reserve those for future videos. I apologize if I've come across as a bit needly during this video, but again, sometimes I do find these myths offensive, and I want to bluntly say that they aren't true.